Hey Felicity, how you doing?
I'm really well, Emma. Thank you very much. How about you? I understand it's bedtime there, is it?
It is, yeah. I was just saying there's a bit of noise going on in the background. I hope they're not too loud, the children. But no, I'm very well, thank you. And we're delighted this week to have Megan Nolan on the podcast with us. So welcome, Megan. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me. Great to be here with you today.
It's lovely to have you. And where are you joining us from? Very jealous.
I'm joining you from Maui, Hawaii, out in the middle of
Oh,
the ocean.
Yeah,
so
very
beautiful.
jealous. And Margate's not just quite as glamorous, particularly in the snow. In the snow, but I'm not going to practice envy. I'm really pleased for you, Megan, that you're able to enjoy that.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, so lovely to have you here. Hi everybody. I hope you've all had a great week. As you know, every week we are speaking to female entrepreneurs, learning from them, hearing about their business journeys, their life journeys. And this week, the lovely Megan joins us, like she's just said, from Hawaii. So, Megan, can you just kick off? Tell us a little bit about you, about what it is that you do, and have you always been in Hawaii?
No, I'm originally from Canada, but I was born in the US. And so on a mission to get out of the cold, because I'm from Ottawa, Canada, which is the second coldest country capital in the world, only to Russia. So I'm very well familiar
Wow.
with the cold. So I just kept moving more and more west
Yeah,
until I got to
nice.
the point where I was like, well, it's British Columbia is very lovely. So that's the west coast of Canada, and it's super
Beautiful.
beautiful, but it rains most of the time. And I felt like Eeyore. Remember Eeyore from Winnie the
Yeah.
Pooh?
Yes,
And so,
yes. I know
yeah,
you're
right.
well.
It's a good
Oh,
analogy because it's definitely I felt like I was just sort of like plodding along and just wilting, And so I decided to take advantage of my American citizenship and I moved out here. So
Wow.
I've lived in the state for a total of 11 years. Originally, I lived on the Big Island and then moved to Maui. So that's where I am now. So I've been here for 9 years. And I have been working for myself my whole life. I've been a personal trainer and a yoga instructor. And I had created a workplace wellness program for a variety of different businesses here on Maui, the Maui Electric Company, the hospital, the college, the county. And I was doing all sorts of that in-person session until last March. And so was able to shift some of that online, thankfully, through the magic of the internet. I just taught a yoga session just before we got on inside a credit union virtually from the inside of my house. So that was cool. And
Fantastic.
so, yeah, so I've really been on a mission to help businesses to empower their team with tools to stay healthy and happy while working. And I shifted gears a little bit over the last few months, recognizing that, with so many people working from home and still needing to stay healthy and happy and give themselves tools to manage the wild ride that was last year and that is continuing now, so that they're able to show up in their work as well. And so I really became passionate and focused on helping other entrepreneurs because we have a tendency, and especially for women and those of us that
Yes.
are not me, but for those of you that are moms, there's a tendency to put ourselves last. And
Yes.
it's so important that we are taking time for ourselves. And so for me, I recognized that a few years ago when I got to a point of, at this point I was working for somebody else. I was saying yes to everything. Oh, I can do that. Sure, no problem. Oh, okay. Text me in the middle of the night. No problem. Blah, blah, blah. And I had the laundry list of all the things you don't want. Like I was extremely anxious. I was very depressed. I was feeling stressed out. I had no energy. I wasn't sleeping. And I was just, my yoga practice was like me laying on the mat and just crying because I was so exhausted, and it was a rough go.
Yeah.
And so that's when I really committed to me first, and not in a selfish way,
Yes.
because a lot of times we feel guilt around that, right? And so me first in the sense of in first thing in the day, even before you turn on the phone and check your all your everythings,
Yeah.
just a little nugget of time goes a long way.
Yeah.
And so that's when I
Yeah.
really started focusing on my own morning routine. And then fast forward to 4 months ago or so, really started helping, and very specifically helping other entrepreneurs with this tool set so that they can take care of themselves.
very, very nice. And you're so spot on, Megan. I think we've all done it. I mean, I've been running my business now for 11 years. And at the beginning, it was like, oh, anybody that offered me work, oh, you've got to take the work and it would be work I didn't want to do, work with people I didn't want to work with because they didn't have the same values. And unfortunately, it really can take a while where you're feeling really run down and stressed before you realize that, hang on a minute, this isn't the life I wanted to create. So you have to step back, don't you? So I'm sure what you're doing, well, I know what you're providing for entrepreneurs is invaluable. We need that, and we need someone to hold us accountable, don't we? And say, oh, hey, hang on a minute, your health,
Definitely.
your mind and your mindset, your well-being first, because you've got to give from overflow, haven't you? You can't give from the dregs that are left for your, life to people and you're not filling yourself up. So I love what you're doing.
Thank you. And I think an analogy that goes well with that, we've all heard that you have to fill up your cup. And so I thought it would be perfect for you both. But if you have the cup and saucer, I don't have a saucer right now, but you want to be replenishing yourself to the point that there's enough in the saucer that you have so much extra to give, right? So it's rather than just constantly depleting ourselves. So I love that you're feeling that too. Thank you.
I so hear you, so hear you. And we were talking about this, funny enough, on Clubhouse earlier on. We were talking about this whole trying to find the balance. And we were saying about, I know for me, you were saying about having that time to yourself. And when you're a mum and you've got your business and you've got your partner, you've got all these other things going on, and whether you're a mum or not a mum, but it's finding that time, and it's the quiet time where I have got the time to do that. So for me, it has to be in the morning before the kids get up. Otherwise, it's just, it's crazy, especially at the moment with the kids being off and us homeschooling. Normally, if they're at school, I've got a block of time where I can get other bits done. So morning routines, that's like music to my ears, because I know for a fact if that morning routine goes to plan, the day goes to plan. But if that morning routine doesn't go to plan, I find it really hard. I do find I'm dragging my feet throughout the day. So I just love that. Love it.
If we don't start off right, we're like playing catch up all day, aren't we? Nothing quite fits into place. So yeah, Megan, so making this pivot, as you said, you've been working with clients and well-being and yoga for a number of years now. What was the most challenging about shifting to supporting entrepreneurs?
Convincing them that they need to do it.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Because, legitimately, you both have basically said that, right? But the main objection that I hear is, I just don't have the time. Well, but here's the thing. If you do this, you're going to feel so much better, that you get stuff done with more speed and creativity, and you'll be on point. And they're like, yeah, okay, I'll try it later. But once they get into the habits, then, and like you said, like literally setting yourself up for a great day. And then when you recognize at the end of the day, oh, okay, well, what did I do today that really helped me? And then when we can create that link in our mind and then recognize, okay, it is worth the time, and as business owners, we're always concerned about ROI, return on investment, and the return on investment for a morning routine is so high, because the better you feel, the more you shine, the more you do, and all of those things. And, it's really important to remember that.
I'm loving it. Okay. I was just going to say that there's one thing I've been looking for. One thing I have been looking for is yoga in the morning. Is that something you offer? Do you do yoga classes like early? I suppose it's the time difference, isn't it?
Oh, you cut out a little bit. So I have loads of sessions online that are available at your time zone. Because your morning and my morning are very different times.
Yeah. Amazing.
I'm a bit of a fat, and I've done the yoga, and I found it really beneficial. But one of the things, my discipline that I love, that I really resonate with, is Qigong. And I did exactly the same thing, found a teacher online, and she's the other country. And even though, I have part of my morning practice has been meditation, and then I would do some type of exercise, but I find that Qigong is so grounding, and it just makes all my energy feel coherent and a clear headspace. And, we talk about the benefits of yoga, meditation, Qigong, and we talk about, you're not so stressed, blah, blah, blah. But for me, the more I've done it, I find I make so much better decisions. My mind is a lot clearer, and I just feel more tapped into what's right for me, rather than what everybody else says I should be doing.
Mm.
And I'm actually a lot more creative. So the more we do our practice, I think, reducing stress is the first couple of steps for it, isn't it? But once you get into
Mm.
a regular practice, there's so much more, Megan. I'm sure after you've
Mm.
been doing it for 20 years, you've got all kinds of stories around that.
Well, and what you're saying is so true, and it's beautiful that you have that awareness of how it helps you. And so, and any energy practice like that that brings you into that calm state, you are in a more coherent or consistent state in your heart, and then that affects your brain rhythms as well. And so, when you're in that slow and steady brain rhythm, breath rhythm, then it actually does take you out of the stress state and turns on the higher brain functions. So there is
Mm.
science behind that, because when we're stressed, we're in survival mode. Your body's like, where's the tiger? I gotta go. Whereas when we calm ourselves down, we're in thriving mode. And
Yeah.
so we turn on the brain functions, and you're spot on, because that's where the creativity, decision making,
Yeah.
emotional balance, so good for our emotional well-being as well. So it's a beautiful ripple effect.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
wonderful.
Sounds good. So, what are your habits and practices? Obviously, you're fit, you're healthy, you've been a personal trainer. It's exercise has obviously been your life by the sounds of it. Have you got any? Is there any sort of specific habits that you've created that you find, sort of help you flourish and help you move forward in your business?
Absolutely. So one that is, it's a challenging one initially, is to not turn on your phone until you've done that me time. And I broke the rule this morning, and then my me time was all thrown off, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't have
Mm.
done it, And so I
Yeah.
really try to stick with that. So not turning on your phone until you're done. But for me, the first thing to go to start with is gratitude. And
Mm.
it's helped me in times when I was experiencing a lot of sadness, and it helps you to shift your focus and really
Mm.
allows you to see all of the beautiful things that you have. And so that's, you can write it down,
Mm.
start with, if you're struggling to find it, just thank you for the roof over my head, thank you for the water that's coming out of my taps, whatever it is you can see, so you can start there. And then thank you for the health of my little ones, what have you. And so what I've started to do recently, which is quite an interesting practice, because we all listen to our own voice for the most part of the day, so it's actually quite beneficial to listen to yourself saying positive things. So I've
Yes.
started doing my gratitude as a voice memo, so just on the phone in the voice memo app. And then
Yes.
so recording it, and then so you're grateful for all the things that are happening already, and then you go into that future vision of yourself, so all your big goals and what have you. So thank you for all of these amazing connections with beautiful people around the world, and
Yes.
keep going. And then it's that nice practice to listen to that at the end of the day, because
Yes.
you're doing like future memories, if you will, or future predictions, by saying all the things that you're grateful for. And then at the end of the day, it's nice to hear yourself saying great and encouraging things, rather than like, oh, well, I didn't do that properly and blah, 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 in that down talk voice. So that's a nice practice to start with. And then, of course, I'm going to tell you to do some yoga or exercise or
Mm.
dance or whatever you love. Move your body. We're not designed to sit down. It's just like
No.
straight up fact. And that's why your body hurts. That's why I call it numb bum, or your sleeping booty. That's why it's happening, because we sit on it way too much. So doing what you can
Yeah.
to get more movement in the morning or throughout the day really, again, has a beautiful effect.
It's wonderful.
And I love that it's so true as well, isn't it? It works differently for everybody, doesn't it? Everyone's got their own thing that they enjoy doing that makes them feel good and makes them happy. And actually, yoga is one of mine. But you've just hit the nail on the head with what you've been saying. Because for me, I sometimes say that I haven't got the time to do that. I'm always busy. I like to be busy. So for me to slow down and calm down, I find it really difficult. But that's why yoga for me is so beneficial, because I know when I do it afterwards, I just go, wow, that was amazing. But I
Mm.
don't give it my time. So that's definitely made my ears perk up. And I just wanted to touch on that when you were talking about the affirmations. I've got this fantastic app I use, and I listen to it every evening. I don't actually do it in the morning, and maybe I should do more so, but it's called Think Up. And
Mm.
basically, you can record, it's an app that you can pop on your phone, and you can record your own affirmations on there, whatever they, you want those to be. And it's beautiful because it plays this really lovely sort of very sort of calm melody in the background. So I listen
Oh.
to that as I fall off to sleep. And I've recommended that app to many, many people, and it is phenomenal because you're recording it in your own voice. So
Hmm.
yeah, love that.
I love that. So it's called Think Up.
It's called Think Up. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because I, as part of my group coaching program, I have my students create that for themselves, and so it would be nice to have like some soft melodic music in the background
Yeah.
rather than the
Yeah.
roosters and the chickens going off, which is
Yeah.
normally what we
It's
hear.
lovely. And they give you some examples. So they, you know, depending on what, you know, the affirmations you're looking to create, there's some I ams on there. There's some, you know, affirmations that you might want to create, you know, for your future self and all this kind of thing. But it's brilliant. It's a great little app. Yeah.
That's
I'll
lovely.
take a look. Thank you.
You know what, ladies, I'm thankful for both of you, because you've just helped me now upgrade my gratitude practice. I think that's wonderful to hear it in your own voice. So that's definitely something. It's so easy. You've got voice notes on your phone, haven't you? So I'm going to be doing that. And I loved what you said about moving, Megan. I heard the medical body in the UK here are saying, probably not the only country, saying you have to be really careful with working at home because sitting is the new smoking. So we really need to be moving our bodies, otherwise we're just going to set ourselves up for long-term problems. So thank you for those. That's brilliant.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And the ideal is as you said, because sitting is not our natural state and it slows everything down. Ideally, if you sit for only about 25 minutes, and if that's not enough time for you to get into your zone, then sit for a 45-minute window, get as much done as you can, and then set an alarm for that, because otherwise we're like, okay, and then it's, you know, 8 hours later and you haven't stood up. So set an alarm for that, and then get up, and that's when you can do your little dance, put on your song, you know, maybe you do qigong or tai chi or what have you, just walk the dog or play with the little ones. So it's good to do a little time blocking like that. Your brain likes that, and it actually does increase productivity.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you. I want to ask you, Megan, and you know, watching you, for the listeners that are on the podcast, you can't see Megan's face, but if you jumped onto YouTube, you just light up when you talk about your work, which is a wonderful thing to see. So what are some of the greatest joys, on top of what you've been sharing with us, what's some of the greatest joys that you've experienced through doing your work?
That's a lovely question. I would say when people recognize how powerful they are, and beyond they first experience it when you're practicing yoga. For example, like I do a lot of work with the warrior poses because they are such an empowering posture, and that's what they're all about. And so when people feel it in the practice, and then they recognize that within themselves, and so I just encourage them to remember that this is a practice for life. It's not a practice for you to stand on one foot. And so when they recognize that in themselves, and then they carry it into their life, and then they're like showing up with that powerful energy, so that it goes beyond the practice. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that question and your beautiful compliment. Thank you.
I'm sold, Felicity. You? I'm going to be I'm coming off this Zoom. I'm texting you. I'm like, right. I've been saying it for so long. I do a Zoom class in the mornings, but it's on 3 days a week. It's on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And the lady I do it with, she's amazing. But again, it's high energy. It's like HIIT training. So it's bomb, 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 bomb. It's go, go, go. And there's been a few mornings I've set my alarm to get up in those in between days on the Tuesday and the Thursday to do yoga. And there's a great lady that I've been watching on YouTube, and I do a bit of that. But because there's not that accountability there. You know, it's not like I've got a teacher on the screen actually there watching what I'm doing. So I'll put it on, and then I might just lay there, and you know, the dog comes and licks my face, and I give the dog a little stroke, and then I'm not really committed. So I need to get committed. So you will be hearing from me after this.
All right, you're just listening to the podcast. When you check in on Emma, put the comment in the
check in.
Come on, are you doing your yoga, girl?
That's it. So how do you celebrate your successes? I know this is super important for us entrepreneurs, that we celebrate those small achievements, because it gives us the motivation to keep on moving forwards. How do you go about doing that?
That's a really good question and a beautiful reminder, because that's definitely an area that I'm working on improving.
Me too. Hands up.
Hands up, because I have that high achiever sort of striving approach to life, which is beneficial, but I think it's also like it can affect how much we pause and really rejoice. And so like one simple thing that I actually encourage my clients to do, and I give them the tools to do this, that I do for myself is I give myself gold stars. So, those gold star stickers that you
Yay.
got when you were a little one.
Yay. I do
So
those
I
for the
send,
kids.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it works for adults too. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. Love it.
So even just, in your calendar, or as you call it, your diary, you put in a gold star and like just write in, I'm so stoked that I did this day and what have you, so that there's that visual reminder. And then when you flip open your calendar, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, look at me, I got stars all over the
Wow.
place. And so it's
I
just a
like
really nice
that.
visual reminder. And I use that with my students to have them when they track their workouts or their yoga practice, so that they can get that visual cue. But that's kind of one way that
Yes.
I really like to do that.
Megan, I love that. Why have I never thought of that? Genius.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
lovely.
it was kind of a joke when I started it years ago. When I was teaching, live group fitness classes, I'd say, like, good job, everybody, gold star, gold star. And then I thought, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be funny if I actually brought in some stickers? And so then I
Gave
started
this.
giving my adult students gold stars on their hand. And then like within a couple days, at the end of the class, without me even bringing them out, they'd be like, did I earn
Yeah.
this today? And then they go to work and like show it off to their coworkers. I'm like, this is so simple, but it's really, really powerful, because I think we're
Really
linked back
effective.
to when we're little, of like that validation and that affirmation
Yes.
from our teacher, and now we have to learn to give it to themselves. So I think that's the essence of what you're getting to with celebrating, is just little simple ways to celebrate ourselves.
Yes.
It's that childlike joy, isn't it? Of wonder as well. Kids are so free with their emotions, aren't they? That, wow, this is amazing, and I've got a gold star, and it's such a big deal. I love that. That's a really, really great way of celebrating. I'm going to buy some. Well, shops are shut, but I'm going to go online and buy some. But you've probably got some in the house for the girls.
I've
haven't
got
you?
loads. Yeah, we have sticker charts. We have sticker charts all over the place. At the minute, we seem to be taking the stickers off. They don't seem to be going on. But it's been a couple of days the gold stars seem to be coming off. But we can flip it. We can flip it around. We've got this.
Yes, yes. Another good way to use them is actually put them on your computer. And so when you see them, it's a visual reminder to sit up, shoulders back,
Yeah.
take a deep breath. And so you're bringing that, that little visual into the day as well.
Oh, that's lovely. It's
Definitely.
those prompts, isn't it? We spend so much time in our analytical mind, don't we? But something like that, a gold star, just taps straight into emotion, to joy. That's wonderful. I love that. That's really brilliant. So, Megan, what's next? What are you visioning about? What would you like to see unfold with your business, and what are your hopes and aspirations moving forward?
I am working on inviting more people into my community. So the group coaching program, I'm really loving that. And that's where we do the group workouts, and they have lots of other resources. But what I'm loving most about it is, as we're bringing in more business owners, is this beautiful community setting, because I think that's right now is so missing, so lacking for so many of us that are solopreneurs in our own house, living by ourselves, that it's nice to be able to come together. And I think that's why Clubhouse is, just blown up, because people are like, just want to hang out in any way they can. So I really am working on expanding that, and then bringing together more experts to, again, just give us the tools that we need to thrive in all areas. So, both business strategies, mental health strategies, physical health strategies, immune boosting, all the things. So I'm working towards creating, I guess it would be a summit or something, but maybe a virtual retreat, so that we can have more of that kind of time built in.
A summit?
Yeah.
What do you think, Emma? Are you up for that?
Oh my God, I'm there, like, free service. I will come and do a bit on confidence. I'm in. Yeah.
Okay.
Hook me
Perfect.
up.
Love it.
Just let me know. Just let me know. It sounds amazing. Well, it was just so lovely to have you on, Megan. Like Felicity said, you just radiate this really positive energy, doesn't she, Felicity? And I love what's that you've got behind you? Is that like a scarf, or like a? It's beautiful. It is. It's just. You've really pulled me in. So, like I say, you will be hearing from me as soon as I get off this Zoom, because I know the importance of yoga and breath work and all that kind of stuff, especially at a time like this, when there is so much going on, and people are feeling pretty uptight and stressed
Mhm.
out. It
Mhm.
definitely calms you down, doesn't it? So just thank you so much for your wisdom and for sharing all these amazing insights today.
Oh, you're
Absolutely.
so welcome. Thank you so much. I know I love this. My partner actually had me put it up when I started doing the virtual
Beautiful.
teaching. And when I get closer to it, even with now when I'm further away, it kind of looks like a peacock crown.
It does. And the colours are beautiful, absolutely stunning.
Thank you. Thank you. And aided by the nice morning light coming in. So thank you. I appreciate
Oh.
the lovely compliment.
I call it well gel in Essex, which means I'm really quite jealous. I'd love to be
What is
sat
it
there
called?
with you now. We call it I'm from Essex. We call it well gel, as in I'm
Oh,
Well,
well jealous.
I love that. That's so clever. So clever. Okay. Well, Joe. Perfect. Thank you.
Essexism. That's what I'm trying to
Oh,
spit out.
okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Megan, thank you so much. We'll look out for you in Clubhouse if you're on Clubhouse too. Connect there. But thank you again, as Emma said, and we weren't joking about being in touch regarding your summit.
Give us a shout.
Yeah, we'll
Absolutely.
collaborate with you again. So thanks again for your time. It's been a delight.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much, ladies. I'm so grateful to share and chat with you today.
Cool. Take care, girls. See you soon.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.